Good evening. I'd like to call tonight's meeting of the Township Committee at time 7:06. Requirements of the Sunshine Law. This meeting was advertised in the Burlington County Times on January 5th, 2017. Would you all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would invite you all to join me in a moment of silence. And as this week is Thanksgiving, let us be reminded of the reason for the season. And in many ways, we have so much to be thankful and realizing that we're very blessed in many instances. And I thank you. Roll call, please.
Committeeman Lopez.
Here.
Committeewoman Smith-Hartman.
Present.
Committeewoman Talisa.
Present.
Committeeman Wisniewski.
Here.
Mayor Daniels.
Here. Thank you. Approve tonight's agenda, 11/20/2017.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lopez.
Yes.
Smith-Hartman.
Yes.
Talisa.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes. Would like to approve the regular meeting minutes of November the 6th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lopez.
Yes.
Smith-Hartman.
Yes.
Talisa.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes. Like to approve the closed session / workshop minutes of November 6th.
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lopez.
Yes.
Smith-Hartman.
Yes.
Talisa.
Yes.
Wisniewski.
Yes.
Daniels.
Yes. Monthly reports and communications are posted on the bulletin board in the foyer. Scheduled appointments, there are none. At this time, I'd like to open the meeting to the public for comment on agenda items only. We're open. Ms. Berkeley?
Yes.
Number 7, Maria, I apologize for not talking to you ahead of time. Is there a way in the agenda that's published that you could also put an agenda for the committee meeting? Because sometimes, if you are going to have mostly for public, we could know, like last time I was here and all the 2 minutes was an executive session and I had to kind of like set it up. And this way you can tell whether we will be able
It's on the
to
website.
actually attend and be there, or it's going to be all executive.
It's on the website.
It is on the website?
Yeah, I've been putting it on the website.
I could not find it.
It's listed right on the website. It's right next to the regular agenda and packet. I do one for 6 p.m. an agenda and one for 7 p.m.
I'll see if we can relate.
It's there.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
Okay.
Okay.
I've been doing it for the last number of weeks.
So it's not in,
No.
It's
It'll be
separate.
separate.
okay.
I don't know if it would help, but maybe we could leave the stack of papers outside. So if somebody comes in and we're in closed session, at least they can have access to it.
Thank you for that, Ms. Berkeley.
Yeah, there's two agendas. But it doesn't say workshop. It says Township Committee agenda, so you see it twice. Township Committee agenda, Township Committee agenda.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Close to public comment. Moving right along. Old business, there is none. New business, police report. Nothing additional, Chief? Fire EMS, Chief?
I want to add this month we added a link in the report which allows you the GIS receiver on all bar. I understand it doesn't work because it was a PDF that was sent out, so I'm just trying to figure out. We might just put that on our website of some sort. We haven't figured out what this is yet, but we are working to figure that part out. So it doesn't say what the call was or the exact address, it just sort of shows you the general area where each call was each month.
Chief, earlier tonight, around 5:15 or so, I saw many alarms or police vehicles and an ambulance and our ladder truck. Is everything okay?
We had a small fire in a bathroom in one of the condos in town, and around that time also we had an overdose on one of the facilities in town as well. So, might have went to
We save the verse?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for those reports. Under new business also, I'd like to congratulate the committee people-elect. Sandy Henley is here, Linda Hines is not here. I'd like to also commend Dave Guerrero and Casey Colonna. I think politics aside and absent the issues that campaigns run on, I personally like to commend all four. I'm reminded that, one of the greatest and highest acts of civility that any one person can do is raise their hand and say that I want to be a member of the community in a very participative way to be part of its governing body. So I salute all four of those individuals for raising your hand and daring and wanting to be part of the process. Quite frankly, absent the politics, this has been one of the most rewarding things that I have probably done in my life outside of being a youth development professional, where we get to see young people and indeed become all that they should be. So just wanted to say that under new business. Moving right along, resolutions. Resolution 138-17, payment of vouchers. This resolution approves the payment of bills through November 17, 2017.
So
Motion.
moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lopez?
Yes.
Smith Hartman?
Yes.
Talisa?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes.
Daniels?
Yes. Moving right along, Resolution 139-17, refund taxes. This resolution refunds a duplicate tax payment made for Block 1606, Lot 8, 21 Devonshire Drive, in the amount of $1,582.54.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Lopez?
Yes.
Smith Hartman?
Yes.
Talisa?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes.
Daniels?
Yes. Resolution 140-17, private sale of police car. This resolution authorizes the private sale of a police car no longer being used.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lopez?
Yes.
Smith Hartman?
Yes.
Talisa?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes.
Daniels?
Yes. Ordinances. Ordinance 15-2017, amend Chapter 95 of the Code of the Township of West Hampton. Brush, grass, weeds, and debris. This is a second reading. This amendment to the ordinance requires the removal of vegetation along curbs.
Motion.
This is, I'm sorry. Thank you. We have a motion. We have a second. And
Who made the second?
John.
Oh,
John.
I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I didn't get that.
Okay, so at this time, I'd like to open to the public for any discussion or comments. Ms. Karen?
Hi, Janet Curran, 123 Main Street. Two things I want to mention that are important to me. Two holidays. Relative to, this is an ordinance that we're doing, so it has to be germane to this. We'll catch you a little later, though. All right. Not a problem. Any public comment relative to this ordinance? I close. Any comments from committee? No comments from committee? Roll call, please.
Lopez?
Yes.
Smith Hartman?
Yes.
Talisa?
Yes.
Wisniewski?
Yes.
Daniels?
Yes. Have ordinance 17-2017, amend Chapter 212 of the Code of the Township of West Hampton, Streets and Sidewalks. This is a second reading. This ordinance-
First reading. First.
No, it's
No,
second.
this is second.
Second.
It says
It is
first.
Yeah, it is second. We've had a first reading.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a mistake.
Okay.
I made a, error.
Okay.
It's an error. Of course the man knows what he's reading, even if it's not here. Thank you, gentlemen. This ordinance establishes, this is the second reading, this ordinance establishes new procedures, fees, and application forms for street opening permits.
Motion?
Can I get a second?
Second.
Open to the public? Ms. Barkley?
Mayor, the last time I thought you tabled it.
We did, Ms. Barkley.
No, that
No,
was
not this one.
16.
That was
Ordinance
16 we tabled.
16-2017.
The sidewalk maintenance.
Sidewalk.
Right. That-
This is the street one, the
That's why it's so
excavation.
confusing.
For
Everything-
openings.
Streets and sidewalks.
It goes in the same chapter, but this would be
This is-
changing an article and
This is street opening permits only,
For excavation and openings in the
not
street.
the routes with the sidewalk.
Right.
That's why it was so
That's-
confusing.
Because it says sidewalks, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I'll ask the question. You're saying-
Yeah. The one you're talking about that you brought up at the last meeting was tabled.
Okay.
and we hope to have the first reading for it
Maybe next time, not tonight.
No,
No,
they're so closely related.
Right, so that we're clear, in the ordinance book, is that the chapter, streets and sidewalks?
Yes, they're both in streets and sidewalks.
Correct.
chapter. One was for sidewalk maintenance, we decided to table last time while we talked about tree roots, and we're still discussing that. And the other one is about the street opening, which our engineer helped us, and Parker Smith have been working on new procedures.
That's correct.
We have moratoriums so people don't open the roads after we pave them.
Right.
Okay, thank you, Madam Administrator. Thank you for that as well, Ms. Berkeley. Any further public comment? Any further public comment? I close to public comment. Any comment from committee?
Yes, I have several. I know that the Director of Public Works, Parker, and I had some questions that we presented to our engineer, but I see that there hasn't been any changes in the ordinance. The insurance.
I reached out to multiple people in my company, and what we found, we looked at the contracts of contractors that we've done work for that don't work in the municipality. A lot of the general contractors, not just PC&G or New Jersey American Water, but the actual general contractors that work, have a much higher insurance liability, talking $5 million plus. This lower amount would be something that is for maybe a smaller contractor that is doing sidewalk work per resident. A smaller contractor that is not doing a couple of $1 million projects is not going to have, he might have liability or anything that high. But for a smaller contractor may do some sidewalk work, his insurance may not be as high. So this covers this, but if there is a project, the last line, if there's a project that you feel, or the director feels that is a higher risk than normal, they can require a larger insurance. So this is kind of, you don't want to disenfranchise a smaller guy doing homeowner work. You know, this isn't, the larger companies, they're going to have a much higher insurance rate. This would cover smaller guys doing much smaller projects, replacing a few blocks of sidewalk, not necessarily ripping up the entire roadway. A utility company like New Jersey American Water or their subcontractor will have a much higher, in millions of dollars, insurance policy. So theirs will supersede this limit, but if there is one that comes, a permit that comes across the director's desk and he feels, hey, the minimum insurance isn't enough for this, he can direct them, hey, we want this insurance, because it's in there in the last line, that if he feels this is an extreme case where it's a higher than normal hazard or risk to residents or anyone in the street, he can require a higher insurance. But if you have that, if you set that bar really high, it can disenfranchise maybe a smaller company that is doing a smaller amount of work, but still can do work for a homeowner.
My concern is, well, you said that their policies are usually in excess of $5 million.
Millions, yeah, because they do
Right.
much larger projects.
Well, here's the thing, but they're willing to cover us for $100,000 for bodily injury. That's awfully low. As I repeated last time, the last meeting, there are personal auto insurances where people actually have $100,000 for bodily injury. So I'm not asking for $1 million, but $250,000 and $250,000 for the property and $100,000 for bodily injury, to me is extremely low.
I understand. I mean, it's at your discretion. If you'd like it higher, by all means, you can raise it. So like auto policy, you could have two vehicles doing 75 miles an hour hitting each other. Typically, these are smaller road openings. They have traffic control. they're residential streets, they're slower moving.
But you can have a fatality. I know they're a small company, but $100,000 for bodily injury is way too low. And then there's a couple of issues that I thought Parker had a great idea. The percentages for, that restoration.
It's in there, there's a section in there that addresses.
And it definitely does say that they would have to do from curb.
Yeah, there was something.
Yeah, there's a percentage.
The other one was in reference to sealing
And what about the ceiling?
yeah, it wasn't something that was under moratorium that we would like.
And you're comfortable with that?
I don't know if that was addressed.
In a response email, I said, it's just adding extra verbiage that the seams would be sealed.
So I don't understand why we can't just add that extra.
Oh, it can be added, yeah, by all means.
What's the unintended consequences by raising it? Are we precluding small vendors from getting in?
I'm not an expert on that. I'm not a contractor, but I would imagine the higher your insurance is, the more it costs for somebody to do work, because they have to do that. I'm not,
So,
Passed on to,
it probably gets, I mean, it's built into their costs, I imagine. It's like everything else,
to be clear, if somebody was having like a contractor replace a lateral, it might be a small job,
yes.
3 feet below along the curb line, might be, a 3x4 hole.
Yeah, like typically your MUAs, they cover up to a certain point, and then it's the homeowner's responsibility. But yet, that still will be in the township property. They would have to get a permit for that. And they don't have to get a large company. It could be, Joe's Plumbing that would do the work.
Roto-Rooter or somebody.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And if you raise the limit, it would force them to raise their cost, and then I'm sure, will pass it on to the resident. No, I understand.
Thank you.
No problem.
are we exploring that?
Yeah. All right, let's you can vote.
Are there any further questions from committee? Roll call, please.
Lopez?
Yes.
Smith Hartman?
Yes.
Talisa?
No.
Wisniewski?
Yes.
Daniels?
Yes. Thank you. Correspondence, Willingboro Municipal Utilities Association is having a meeting on 12/6/2017. The time is at 4:30 p.m. at the John F. Kennedy Center. There's a proposed 2018 rate change. I probably will be at that. This affects those individuals who are on this side of 295. And I've been hearing some scuttlebutt that the rates have been kind of off kilter as of late anyhow. And also there has been some concerns that I have yet to substantiate in terms of the water that's coming out. It's either been somewhat brown or a little cloudy or whatever the case may be. I don't know, but that's just something that I happen to see on Facebook today. Because it's on Facebook doesn't necessarily make it so, but nevertheless, I think it's germane, and it's something that we should look at. Dates to remember. Is there any other correspondence? Any other correspondence?
Marion?
I did receive an email from someone thanking you guys and the police for putting on the Megan's Law Forum. They said although the attendance was really low, they found it very informative, and they believe that the Township Committee should consider offering this forum again in 2018. I wanted to thank Police Detective Linda Chifalo for hosting.
Great way of answering the community's need. Thank you, Chief. Dates to remember. Saturday, December 9th, West Hampton Recreation's annual Breakfast with Santa. West Hampton Middle School from 9 a.m. through 11 a.m. Wednesday, December the 13th, is the West Hampton Recreation's annual Senior Citizens Holiday Dinner, West Hampton Middle School, at 6 p.m. Saturday, December the 16th, is the West Hampton Township Emergency Services Escort Santa to Rancocas Village. And Tuesday, December the 19th, through Thursday, December the 21st, West Hampton Township Emergency Services Santa around town. If you've never experienced that, this is something to experience. folks were just recently talking about their excitement of having the trucks come by this year, and it was actually, I think it got up to 25 on one person's post, that West Hampton Township, they had music and everything out there, and it was great. So it was fantastic. Great job. That continues to just grow every year. I remember when it just used to be on Saturdays or whatever the case, in the cold, no matter what, and you guys tried to hit everything. The elongated, different date procedures seems to kind of work. It allows for a little bit more personableness, and candy canes go a long way. Great work. At this time, I would like to open up the meeting to the public. We're going to try to adhere to our 3-minute rule.
Yep.
Open to the public.
3 minutes. Yep.
Okay, Janet Curran, 123 Main Street. Two important days of the year for me is Veterans Day and Thanksgiving Day. Veterans Day is because we have what we have today because of our military and our freedom. And Thanksgiving, we get to thank everyone for all that they do for us to keep us safe. Not just our military, but our police officers, our EMTs, our firefighters. At the last township meeting, I happened to bring up the master plans of many years. I grew up here in West Hampton, part of Plainborough. Seen a lot of changes in the last 10 or 11 years that I do not like. I am sorry. On my many trips to North Jersey, when I get off the 295 on the 195, I always have one on 1.51 for traffic, which is tremendous right now on Springside Road, which you all are aware of what's happening in the warehouse. But anyway, I just feel that listening to 101.5 one morning after the election, many people called in saying that people were gloating because of the people that won the elections. So I don't care what party you're with, but I don't know one that I know is gloating over winning this election. I think that everyone that sits up in front of me all work together as a team, that there will be no more, I don't know if you argue, I'm never in between, I'm never in the closed sessions. I tried at one time when I ran, and I lost against a very good friend, Harry Adams. So I'm hoping to see that you all are going to work together as a team and vote for the residents and hear the residents, as it was many years ago. This building that you're in right now, people were against.
Right.
People called it the Taj Mahal. But we need it. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Hart.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Any other public comment? Close the public comment. Moving right along to committee comments. Let me go back in the back.
Start with
Mr. Knott.
Because he has so many problems, fire marshal problems. I mean, the man deserves a break. Sir, you have anything?
you have anything?
Not tonight? 99 problems tonight? Awesome. Chief? All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Chief?
I just wish everyone in the families happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you. LT?
Mr. Mayor, I apologize for not being here last meeting. I had a family event I had to attend with my daughter. However, it's come to express my gratitude and thank you all for passing the resolution. I look forward to working with the committee and the committee that's coming on in January. So thank you again.
Congratulations.
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 Just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody and nothing further to report.
Do you have any snow in the horizon or anything like that?
There's nothing at this time.
Right.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, cool.
Nothing further. Happy Thanksgiving.
Marion?
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Enjoy your holiday with your family.
Yes, sir.
Nothing? Okay, all right. Go this way?
What do you, you're the mayor. I do what you say.
You got a lot to say? Yeah.
No, I do I ever have a lot to say?
You know what? No.
Um,
President Wisniewski.
I'll probably say the most now that I probably have said all year, but I want to congratulate Linda and Sandy on running this year, volunteering, and raising your hand and getting involved in the community. Also to Casey Colonna and David Guerrero for, again, raising their hand and trying to be involved in the community. I hope that they still are interested in getting involved, because we always need residents that want to help. Again, department heads got to keep up the good work. Congratulations to Lieutenant Ent for his new promotion. The administrative staff, I definitely want to thank them for all their help. Usually we forget about them, but they always make our job easier. So Maria, Marion, and everybody else in the building. And don't eat too much turkey this Thursday. That's it.
All I have to say is go Eagles. How about that game last night? Was that amazing?
Fantastic.
What a comeback. So, and ditto what everybody else said. Good night. We're going to get out of here soon.
Happy Thanksgiving to all. I hope everyone is surrounded by family and friends, and just let us all be thankful for all the blessings that we have in our lives. That's it.
That's what's up. Dean?
Maureen, start the clock. I want to congratulate Lieutenant Ent, who is incoming chief. Congratulations, well deserved. I won't repeat all the words that the mayor and John said, but I also want to congratulate and welcome formally Sandy Henley, Linda Hines. We had chairs out for them this evening. I know Linda Hines had a parent obligation earlier. I did too, but my wife covered that one for me. But I should have probably been there. So we missed you in the meeting. Sandy Henley hit the ground running, was very active in the meeting, so we wanted to let all the residents know that they were here with us in closed session. They're welcomed and they're being fully briefed on all things happening in the West Hampton Township, as they should be. So commend them, welcome, congratulate them for their victory, well-deserved and hard-earned victory. Let's see, I think that's it. So thank you all. Happy Thanksgiving. God bless you all.
Lieutenant Ent, just like to commend. I'm sorry.
It was less than a minute.
Look at that.
Okay, you yield your time to me?
You have 1 minute, sir.
Well, the gentle lady from Torranceville would like to reclaim.
No, yes.
Go ahead.
Lieutenant Ent, you could just read the minutes for all the nice things I said about you. Okay.
And I said ditto.
Yes, and she did. Okay.
Once again, congratulations again to Lieutenant Ent. Ms. Hines, you weren't here, but I had extended congratulations to you and Sandy Henley, and by virtue of the fact that they ran, I commended Dave Guerrero and Casey Colonna for raising the hand and becoming civically engaged in their community. Just like to, it's one of those things, again, absent politics, I just want an entire community to win. I love this community, and just today I'm reminded that Niche.com came out, and while we fell back a little bit, and I think we're over 100, and the areas that matters the most, to buy a home, to raise a family, we're still under 100, 25th in the whole state of New Jersey to buy a house, 88 to something else, and I think we're 62 for millennials to actually live in. So that says that we're a very progressive community, that people are still seeking out a place to live, work, and play and grow, and I'm proud of that, that I live in a community like that. It's a community that I sought back in 1991 when I got out of the Air Force, and it continues to be that. Last week we had the League of Municipalities, and while there was much going on to include networking and I would imagine parties and other things, there was also a lot of education that was going on. And despite the fact that I'm transitioning, I still sought to get whatever I could get by way of education. I still plan on being in the community like everyone, when you transition and time goes off, service still continues. Ms. Berkeley, I would agree with you. Veterans Day is one of those valuable, very important days that we all look forward to. It's the day that we serve that we commemorate.
Ms. Curran. Ms. Curran.
It was Ms.
Ms. Curran.
Right? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ms. Berkeley. Ms. Curran. It's one of those days that we look to commemorate. And this past weekend, I would salute the Habitat for Humanity, the Burlington County Masonic Lodge, who had a lunch for veterans, had an opportunity to attend. It was a great time to be had by all. I would like to also extend a happy Thanksgiving to one and all, being reminded what the season is really all about. And if there's any, Ms. Curran, if you know of any family in West Hampton Township that may need some assistance over the next couple of days, can you please see me offline? I know that there's some opportunities. I don't want to make it a long process, but I know that there's some opportunities out there that have made themselves aware to me, and if we can help some folks, we want to be able to be in a position to do that. I think that's it. Well, am I on the 3 minutes?
You're a little over, but.
Okay, well, we yielded some time. So nevertheless, I'll entertain a motion to be adjourned.
I'll second that.
Okay. We're adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you all for coming.
Wow. Okay. That was good.